Let's play a little game, shall we? How many lupin flowers do you think are on this single plant right next to me here? We'll find out later on in the video. Hey, welcome back. Now, I may not have many crops ready for harvest on the allotment this month, but boy do I have flowers. You know, I've got lupins, delphiniums, roses, the alliums, they're also coming out now. So if you love your flowers, you're going to be in for a treat in this episode. Yeah, May, it's towards the end of May now. I'm a bit late filming this one this month, but it's been quite a kind month to us gardeners. We haven't had late frosts. So all of the blossom has been fantastic this year. All the cherry blossom trees, they've just looked absolutely amazing. The apple tree bloomed so well this year. So yeah, it's been quite kind to us. It's been mostly quite dry. Some days have been quite windy, but on the whole, no real complaints really. I did spend a short while in the Peak District. We have a short break and that was just wonderful to get away and have a few days out in the open. But on the plots, you know, it's getting to that time of the year where it's starting to become a little bit overwhelming with the amount of jobs to do. You know, I've got a lot of plants to plant out over the next week and the weeds have just been ridiculous, as you all know, particularly the bindweed. So yeah, that's been a bit of a challenge, but I've been quite busy. There's a lot of change on the allotment, particularly all of these beautiful flowers, which I can't wait to show you. So yeah, let's get on it and start the May tour. Oh, and I apologise that you're going to be mostly handheld for this video because I left my tripod mount plate at home. So I have the tripod but nothing to attach you to it other than this bit of Velcro strip which I use for my tomatoes. So yeah, apologies if it's going to be a little bit shaky. So let's step through the gate and see what we'll find this month. Now I have to be quite careful when I open my gate at the minute, and let me show you why. Because my climbing rose isn't climbing too well, and that's my own fault. I think some of the string or the wire has either broken away, so it's hanging down at the moment. And look at that, my first bloom from the Generous Gardener rose this year. That's a David Austin rose, absolutely beautiful. There's going to be quite a few more roses to see in this episode, so yeah, oh, I wish you could smell it. Look at all those foxgloves standing up tall, can you see them? I think one of my favourite areas of the allotment at the moment is this border that I dedicated to my grandmother when I planted it up the other year. And look, the roses in ode to her, called Mary Rose, are blooming, and oh my gosh, I think I prefer this to the Generous Gardener because it's a much deeper pink and it's a much more open flower and it's more fragrant as well. But they've done so well. Got lots of blooms on the way. That one's just about to go over. Let's just deadhead that one. Ooh, lovely petals. But yes, I mean, so many blooms on this one plant and it's only been in for a year. Also got the Brookside geranium. The Nepeta is also blooming, although yeah, the bindweed is just running right through this border, but it's not causing too much of a problem at the minute. We've got allium heads as well. They're just about to pop. There's another rose down there hiding. Oh, they're just so beautiful. Can you see there the coins? That's all the honesty that was flowering white. Do you remember my plot was so white last month? That's the seed heads of the honesty, which a lot of people dry and then use as dried arrangements. But I'm half tempted to actually cut some of them back because they self-seeded everywhere and I'm not sure if I want quite as much, because it does dominate the borders and it means, especially in places like this, that the other plants might not have as much chance to grow. Now if I just turn around down here underneath the old tree, I can't remember what this one's called, and I don't remember planting it. I don't know how it's got here, but it's going to be yellow, and that's not part of the colour scheme. This is a blue and pink border. However, blue and yellow do look nice together. They are complementary colours, so we will see, but it is quite a big plant. More bindweed. You won't see that at the Chelsea flower show, will you? This is the real garden. Yeah, we've got delphiniums. That blue is so intense, I don't think my camera can even pick it up in all its quality. It's a little bit more purpley than it's coming up, but that is gorgeous. And behind it, some more of those foxgloves. This one is the Sutton's apricot, which I grew last year, and so pleased to see it again. I'm going to be sowing some seeds of that very soon, actually. And in the same border, we've got this peony, which was actually taken from my grandmother's garden. And I'm just so happy that it's still doing well and blooming here. So excited for these to come out again. And look, we've even got a few alliums. And right down in the bottom of the same border, I've got a couple of lupins that I planted only a few weeks ago. I bought these, and just look at that blue. Lupins seem to do really well in my allotment. I'm not quite sure why, but I love them. Hello, sticky weed. As I say, let's just free you up a little bit. There we go. So if I carry on down, this bed has got a few foxgloves in it, including this one. And there's another rogue plant over there and there, which I might have to move. I'll be planting this bed with some squash very soon. And there's a big old pile of weeds that's come out of my strawberry cages. So much bindweed was in here, it was choking the plants out. And look what we've got. Can you see? The first strawberry flowers. So it won't be too long until I get my first strawberries of the year. I know some of you further down south have already got yours, but haven't spotted any ripe ones yet. I do, however, have a lot of blueberries inside here. Can you see? Look at all those fruits. I've never had such a good, well, obviously I haven't harvested them yet, but I've never seen so many blueberries on my own plants. So I'm really hoping this year I'll have a substantial harvest that's bigger than a handful, because my plants aren't really that old, only a couple of years that I've had them. So yes, hence why they're all netted up now, to stop the birds getting to them. And this apple tree, which I won, I think I showed you last month in this video, but look at those baby apples. So it'll be the first time that this young tree has fruited for me. Just hoping it doesn't drop them all come June, when apple trees and other fruit trees do drop some of their excess fruits. But I have to stop and just appreciate this beautiful tall foxglove. It's not far off, the same height as me. Bees are absolutely loving them. Hello. I just love sort of those tall, upright, structural plants that give you so much more height to your garden. And there's another random foxglove here, which I may move and I may not. I mean, it's already flowering, so might as well let it do its thing now. But this bed is going to be where my sweet corn goes again. I grew sweet corn there last year, and I'm just going to do the same again this year. I know Charles Dowding says crop rotation doesn't really matter, so yeah, we'll see how it does. Got more sweet corn, sorry, more strawberries down there, and this is the self-seeded area that I've just let grow. It's been a strange day for weather today. We've had sunshine, showers, and then when the sun comes out it gets really, really hot. Now it's all gone a little bit wild down here. Let's shuffle down my path where the raspberries have absolutely shot up. It's almost waist level now, those. Obviously these are my autumn fruiters. So there's no signs of fruit on these ones, a bit early. But we do have lots more apples, baby apples, on my apple tree. And also, oh look, there's some of the hops that runs through the tree. The rhubarb, well, I know you may be familiar that I had crown rot on one of my plants that I had to remove. This one seems so far unaffected, and I haven't replaced anything in the spot where the rhubarb was yet, the old one. So it's still there. Just need to find something to put in it, and I've got a few spare dahlias which I might use. I've got more rhubarb. Now how about we head down to my other favourite little area right now, into the wildlife corner. There are so many flowers in here, it's sometimes easy to miss them. Like this aquilegia, lovely white colour. And well, the lupins, they just speak for themselves, don't they? It's just so peaceful looking out this way. Oh, it looks like the bird baths run empty. Now, for the moment of truth, how many lupin flowers are on this single plant here? Let's have a count. All of this is just one plant that I planted in 2018. Okay, let's start the count. We'll go clockwise. 1, 2, 3. We're counting that one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 blooms. If you guessed that, well done. You know what, I actually didn't realise how scented they are. Honestly, I didn't know that lupins had a fragrance. Interesting. Yeah, they smell like a little bit sort of spicy, vanilla-y. Really interesting. Okay, I think that's mostly it down here in the wildlife corner. I'm going to disappear before those ants climb up my ankles. I can't actually get down the path anymore because the stepping stone that goes around here is just behind this massive lupin. But I have got another one, and there's a few more alliums over there in bloom. I did plant another lupin just there. It's the apricot coloured one, but it's got a little bit of lupin aphid, which I don't mind, to be honest, because if they're all on there, then maybe they won't attack this great big one. Let's work our way back round the allotment. Oh yes, let's have a look in this bed here. You may remember towards the end of last year where I mulched all of my dahlias, and I said, right, I can't be bothered with the faff of lifting and storing and growing them on each spring anymore because they take up too much room. And well, I mulched them. Wasn't quite sure how it was going to turn out because I've never done it before, but have a look. They survived. They're all starting to come up, not just here but also in my main dahlia bed as well. They did start to get a little bit slug nibbled to begin with, but now that they're coming up quite quickly, I think they're going to be okay. And I'm just so pleased. The only thing is though, I did buy a few backup dahlia tubers, kind of predicting, you know, I'm going to lose a few, they won't all come back up. And I haven't really done a final count yet to know, but it's looking like most of them did survive. So now I've got a few extra dahlias that I'm not quite sure where to put. I'm sure I'll find some room, but I mean, it's a good position to be in, right? Too many dahlias. This sunshine is glorious. So I've got a few pansies in here, or violas. The tulips, they've all gone over now. I've just got to think about what I want to do with these over the summer months. whether I want to reuse the pots and lift those bulbs and store them. I'm not sure. Have a think. Just still enjoying these little violas for now. Down in the seating area, I've actually trimmed the grass. I treated myself to a strimmer and that's cut it right back again. Been doing a little bit of work over there with some wood, which you'll see soon. And over at this trellis, well, I think we're in for the most prolific flowering year on this trellis. Obviously we've got the honeysuckle and the clematis and also a rose down here. You can see all those clematis buds, but it's never spread so rampant, and I've never had so much coverage on it before. So it's come all this way down to this end where these 3 pots are. So it's really filled out this year. And look at all those rosebuds. That's also the generous gardener. And I just can't wait now for all of this to burst into bloom. It's going to be such an intense pink. I'm going to get a lot of fragrance as well from the honeysuckle, with my ginkgo now in full leaf in front of it. I thought I'd sit down for a minute and just enjoy the view. It's turned out to be quite a nice afternoon because it's been sunny and stormy and rainy all day, and I think the sun's just come out for you because it knows you're here. Let me spin you around and show you what the view is like from my bench, shall I? There we are. Still got a slight breeze in the air, but that fennel right in front there, bronze fennel, absolutely love it. And you'll see we've got a few structures going on. My bean frame, I've made that now, ready for the beans to go out. What else have we got? The carrots I still haven't sown. I really need to get some nematodes to treat the carrot fly in there. More flowers about to pop. The garlic, still looking okay, but I think we're definitely going to get some allium leaf miner problems again because my own fault. I didn't net them. I don't really like using much netting, and if I have to freeze them again like I did last year, then so be it. It actually works really well for me, that did. I've just spotted something that I forgot to show you. I need to rewind, retrace my steps because it almost got missed, and oh my god, I'm so excited. The rose that I planted a few months ago, it's new to me, Munstead Wood. David Austin rose is the first flower to bloom. I've only had this 6 months or so. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful colour. I need to smell this because I haven't actually stuck my nose in it yet. Bear with me. Only trouble is, it's so low down because it hasn't really grown much yet. And I have to get on my knees, and my knees aren't quite as good as they were 7 years ago. Oh my gosh, that is such a good smell. Oh, wow, it's such a strong rose fragrance, like really traditional old-fashioned rose. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. I might actually have to cut one of those and take it home. Yeah, Munstead Wood. Can't wait for it to grow a little bit taller though, so I don't have to bend down quite so low to enjoy it. Also just noticed how well that colour matches the crop I have next to it. My crimson flowered broad beans, which haven't done too badly considering I sowed them in the springtime. Hello bee. Now this structure here is a little bit of fun I had this afternoon, and I don't know if you saw the video I made now then, behind that foxglove is a structure I've been playing with this afternoon. Depending on how long you've been following this channel, if you were around in 2018, which was the year I was actually on Gardener's World, or when they filmed it at least, I had a similar looking structure for some of my small squash plants to climb, and it worked so well, and I tried to recreate it the following years, but I must have forgotten or not done it. I don't know why I didn't, but I'm doing it again this year, only on a slightly bigger scale. Does look like I'm trying to summon something with a great big beacon, but oh, it's lovely and warm. Yeah, I'm going to grow some more squash and maybe some cucumbers vertically again, because it's safe space, it creates more airflow, and the plants really thrived using this method. So that's the plan for my big wigwam. I forgot to mention, down in this bed I've actually planted the courgette plant. I think I'm only going to grow one this year. I used to grow two, but it was always a bit too prolific and had too many courgettes. And then all my friends and neighbours were a bit sick of them because I gave so many away. What variety is this again? I can't quite remember. Oh yeah, banana. And as you guys maybe know, I always grow yellow courgettes because they're so much easier to spot amongst all the foliage that they're less likely to turn into great big marrows. Yeah, the bean structure is all ready for the beans. Need to get them in quite soon. And this middle section will be my parsnip seeds, which I need to sow over the next few days. And right here, if you've been wondering, what is that plant? You might know what it is. It is a parsnip, and I did the same last year. I let it go to seed because I just love the structure, the height, the flower. The pollinators absolutely love it. It attracts all sorts of beneficial bugs, and I just have to do this every year now. Let a few parsnips go to seed. Over in this bed we've got a lovely sunny calendula. I also planted out a few cosmos there behind so that they grow and disguise the side of the potato pots as they get bigger. And yes, all of my potatoes are growing well. Some of them I've actually mulched with the grass clippings that I collected from where I trimmed down in the seating area. So that's going to be a bit of a mulch for them, help retain all of the moisture. But yeah, they seem to be doing okay. I've still got to top some of them up with a bit more compost, such as this one on the end. But all varieties are in there. And over here, it's not a ghost, my peas are being protected from the birds because the pigeons love to eat the foliage. Oh my gosh, they've grown so much since I last checked a few days ago. This is the telegraph pea, which grows about 8 foot tall. I've got 2 of those on the go, 2 big whams. And over on this side, oh, this has all come off, and I've got lots of weeds. But this is the Kelvedon Wonder pea, so a much shorter variety. No pods for picking yet, but got some lovely flowers, so it won't be too long. Okay, let's head into the polytunnel, shall we? See just how many plants I have yet to plant out. But before we step inside, here's a few that are still outside, getting a bit of fresh air today. This is a basil I can't wait to grow this year. Let me just get one of these little plugs out. It is a variety that grows enormous leaves, and you can already get an idea of how big it's going to be. I'll try and remember the variety name. But yeah, I love my basil, and I'm growing I think 3 or 4 varieties of it this year. So there's going to be a lot of pesto, but these will all be planted underneath my tomatoes in the polytunnel, so it'll be a little while till these get going in the ground, but they should be fine in there for a little longer. And here we've got these squash, and you may have seen me sow these inside the shed in a previous video. So they've all pretty much germinated as I expected, so only 1 or 2 duds. Generally very good germination on these. Sweet dumpling, honey boat, lots of small sweet varieties of squash that I absolutely love, and they're just getting a little bit of fresh air today. Blowing in the wind helps stimulate the root growth and acclimatises them to the outdoors. Oh yeah, did I mention it last month Achocha seem a little bit yellow. I might have to give these a bit of food or repot them into some better compost. They might still be in mostly coir. Gonna sort this one out. But yeah, the one that tastes like pepper but looks like a little cucumber. I tried growing it last year, but it didn't do too well and it died. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get this one to perk up again. It's got 2 others as well. So yeah, plenty of things to climb up my trellis this year. I know somebody was asking, I think, in the comments about my fig, because last year I had to chop it pretty much in half quite drastically. This was a standard little lollipop style tree, and I had to cut it right back due to frost damage. And look at it, it's doing pretty well, although I think it may have, some signs of spider mite. That sort of rusty colour on the underside of the leaf has me a little worried, and there's some slight webbing, but oh no, that's just a normal spider. Hello. So yes, I'm not expecting fruit from this year, but as long as it lives and survives, I'll be happy, because I just love it as a plant. When your foxgloves are taller than you are. Love them so much. My apologies, I'm rambling a lot today, aren't I? This is the chaos of my polytunnel. Yeah, there's a lot to plant out. We've got basil, we've got a begonia, another begonia. Can't remember why I'm growing those this year, but there you go. Some chilies, some coriander, tomatoes. What varieties have I got in here? We've got radio, which is an old one from the Second World War, I believe. Gardener's Delight, taking it back to the old simple things, eh? Black Beauty. Thank you to Chris for the seeds from Dragon Chili in Wales. And also some crystal lemon cucumbers. Okay, table number 2. Oh, and this one needs to be handled with a lot of care. You guys know I love my chilies, and so does my colleague called Holly, and she was given a few plants and she decided, oh, Kat might like to grow that one. And guess what I've got? So far in my polytunnel, the hottest chili that I have that I'm growing this year, hottest one I've ever grown, is the ghost chili, or the butcholokia is its other name. But now I present to you the Carolina Reaper. Currently the world's hottest chili pepper. Call me crazy, call me stupid. Not quite sure what I've got myself in for here. I've never been scared of a plant before in all my life like I am this one. Hence why I've given it a rather unusual label, and when I pot it up it will be going into a pot that's bright red, because I don't want to be confusing this with anything else. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what I've got planned for it. I'm just quite scared of it, but keen to see if I can at least get some fruits, because I think they're quite known for taking a long time to ripen and fruit, and they need quite a, oh, the door's closing, quite a warm hot summer, which we don't always get. So yeah, we'll see about that one, but yeah, a bit scared. If you've got any thoughts on how I can use it, let me know, because that process also scares me, just getting them in the kitchen. Yeah. And what else is on this table? Some more chilies, that's my little ghost chili. Some more cucumbers, Early Fortune. And oh, this one, which is not going to be for eating at all, it's another fairly dangerous plant, is the ricin plant. And I'm growing this for the foliage. It's going to be well away from people. It's going to be an ornamental plant. And yes, if anybody's worried, I know it is quite poisonous. Don't grow this if you have young children or animals in your garden, because you don't want to be eating this at all, which is why it'll be right down the bottom of the seating area. But I'm growing it for the structure. Again, I just love that height and colour, and these have really cool leaves. So I've also got lots more tomatoes, some Black Beauty in there. I'm only growing about 3 or 4 varieties this year, behemoth king tomato. That's a very big one. So there are the tomatoes. Oh, lots of lettuce. I've grown quite a lot of lettuce this year. A lot of it's going into the community courtyard at home, which you may have seen. A few cosmos, more chilies. Oh, and this one is the mini olive ricotta, again from Chris Fowler, who I bought the seeds from off his website. It's got purple flowers. It's going to be cropping quite prolifically, quite early as well. And I think my chilies need a little bit of feed because they're starting to look a little yellow. So I'll give them some seaweed feed later on. And here are the other dahlias that I have that I've grown from tubers that I either bought or they were the couple that I lifted because they were in pots last summer. So yeah, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dahlias to find room for. Wait, make that 8, there's another one. And on this table, lots more chilies and peppers that you saw last month. They're just getting bigger. Some are flowering. Yeah, a lot of chilies this year. And over here we've got a lot of cosmos. This one's my favourite variety, called Seashells. We've got, ooh, a Bell's Kobe Scandens. And it's like purple bells as a climber. This is one that I picked up from the plant swap that I went to last month. It's one I've always wanted to grow, and I'm thinking it might go in Grandma's border up against the old plum tree that's dead because the jasmine didn't do so well up there. More basil, purple basil, and some straw flowers. More peppers, more chilies. And then over here I've got my beans that I need to plant out. Borlotti beans and my sweet corn that I've grown in root trainers this time for the first time, giving them a go. Quite keen to see how the roots look, to be honest. I managed to get one out, and because I'm a little bit impatient but also curious to see how these root trainers have done, I'm going to open it up. If I can just carefully undo it with one hand. This is quite tricky. The reveal. Ta-da! So they're rooted. Oh, there's loads of wood lice. Please don't eat the roots. Yeah, loads of roots. Obviously loving that deep container to grow in because that's how they like to grow. And I need to get these planted out soon. Although I'm a little bit worried about slugs, I might just wait for another set of leaves first. So yeah, there's quite a lot to be planting out over the next week or so, and probably far too many chilies and tomatoes, so I'm going to take a few to work and share them out, I think. And lastly, the dahlia borders, where all this erigeron caravansigianus is in full bloom already, and it'll be like this from now until about November when we get the first hard frosts. It's one of my most frequently asked questions. What is it? Erigeron caravansigianus. Bit of a mouthful, also known as Mexican fleabane. As for the actual dahlias though, obviously each variety comes up at different speeds, so you might think it's not going to make an appearance and then a few weeks later it comes up. But here we've got one of them looking mighty fine, another there, and if I just turn down here a little bit, here's another one just showing its little tips. So they're on their way, and they've done really well with this wood chip mulch. I thought they might struggle a little bit to get through it, but they are absolutely fine. So that's a technique I'm probably going to do again this year. Now behind them is usually where I walk up to the top of the mound and give you the full spin. But in all truthful honesty, I don't know if I can get up there this month for all those weeds. Look, it's an absolute jungle. Okay, let me see if I can get up there. And look what we've got up here, my medlar tree. It's only a year old on the allotment, and it's got loads of fruits on this year. A few spots of what looks like rust, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem, I hope. So there we are, top of the plot at the end of May 2022 with a whole lot of crops to go out in those beds. Thank you very much for watching. I'm glad the sunshine came out for us in the end. I've got a lot of planting out to do now and lots of weeding to carry on with. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.